Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to JPTV, Julz Savard!
Thank you.
We're so excited.
What a live audience.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks, guys.
And thanks for being here, Julz.
I am so happy to be here. I love your look. Your
My blonde
LEWK look.
Yes. Hey, that's very 20s of you.
Oh,
Is it because you're transitioning into a topic?
yes. Is this
Like
because
a
we're
real host.
segueing right now?
Yeah, we're segueing right now. So
Awesome.
we have this new thing that we're doing with JPTV because usually I get messages on Instagram or Twitter, which I'm sure you do too. Na parang people are always asking me, how do you do this? Like, how do you adult? Like, how do you become a better adult? And I honestly feel like I'm not a very good adult. I'm trying to be a better adult, and we've decided to make a series called Adulting with Joyce Pring.
Wow.
And today it's going to be Adulting with Joyce Pring and Julz Savard.
Special guest.
Special
Which
guest.
is so funny because I literally just posted on my Instagram. This is me trying to be better at adulting, at organizing, at scheduling. And it was just me going like this to the camera. Because I don't know. I mean, we figure it out as we go, right?
Nobody knows, but it's always nice to maximize your, I guess, the people that's around you, the resources that we have, and to watch videos like this that could help you.
We hope we're helpful.
We really hope.
Maximizing your potential in your 20s.
Yes, slaying your 20s is the colloquial term that we're gonna be.
Slaying your
What is
20s.
Slaying.
I guess because a lot of people, especially in our generation, they feel like your 20s is like your prime time.
Yeah.
Like this is where you go out and you set your goals and you achieve your goals. But I always believe in flexibility. Like I don't think that you can always just, you know, give yourself a structure and say, okay, by 28 I've done this, or by 29 I've done this. You have to give yourself time to breathe as well, and sometimes your dreams change.
Yeah.
But I think number one is you have to know what you want. Like you got to know right into your 20s, like this is what I'm going to do. I have a 5-year plan,
Yeah.
and then a step-by-step program to it.
Did you have that?
No.
going into- I was just like, wait, I didn't have that.
That's why if I gave advice to my 20-year-old self, I'd be like, where's your plan?
Where's your plan?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't believe, you know, some people would always say, just go with the flow. You're in your 20s, you're so young. I think that's so, well, me personally, I agree with you. That's the worst idea that you can do, to just go with the flow. Because you will wake up one day when you're just like, ang tanda ko na.
Oh, ano na ginawa ko? Ano ba yan? Di pa ako nag-30 under 30 sa Forbes.
No, nothing. No, nothing. No, but it's true. So, but you personally didn't come into your 20s with your action plan, right?
No, I didn't. I feel like everything kind of fell into place because, number one, as a teenager, I already knew I was like, okay, I'm going to go into music. There is no other way. I mean, obviously I'm going to go to college because I need one of those degree things, you know, in case
One of those degrees.
anything else fails,
Yeah.
you know? And so going into, I was just really blessed though that everything kind of came together, me coming into a band, me going into the music industry. So at a very young age, it kind of had already set the path for me. But I still think that there's so much more you could do. So, you know, I was working, I was doing other things like what you're doing, hosting, and I felt like I was maximizing my 20s by just saying yes to a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I also gave myself time to sometimes change things. You know what I mean? Like, okay, now I think I want to try acting. You know, now I think I want to just chill for a bit.
Okay.
And I think though that even as the 20-year-olds say like, okay, yeah, but I want to like go out and party and stuff like that. I had a fair share of that too. Not some of my proudest moments. But I do think that in your 20s, you can't get too focused on the goal. You also have to give yourself room to invest in hobbies and interests, and you know, like anybody else, you need your relaxation.
Okay, so those are two main points that I totally agree with. One, that you have to have an action plan, like your goals and your step-by-step process on achieving that goal. And two, that you don't have to take that too seriously.
Yes.
Like you have to take it seriously, yes, you have to follow it through, but you also have to give yourself leeway, as Julz said, to really find new hobbies. And this is the time to discover yourself. This is really the time to discover yourself, to the things that you love, the things that you want to pursue. Another thing, number 3 that I would add, it's just for me personally, stay single.
Wow, if there was a JPTV during the time that I was 22, I would have been like, yes, girl.
No, not be single.
Weren't we in relationships?
Yeah, we were in relationships at that time. We were both in that, and this is why you have to take our advice for it. Now, I say that not coming from a bitter standpoint. Really, it's just an encouragement for a lot of young women, because I feel like it's nice to be in a relationship. It's good to have someone that you spend time with. But what I realized is that I feel like I wasted. Okay, bad word. I feel like I spent
Wasted. I will confidently say wasted. Yes, I wasted time.
I wasted so much time, energy, effort, money on relationships, or dating from one relationship to another, just because I wanted to have fun. When I realized, now that I've been single for almost 2 years, that you can actually have fun with your friends. You can use that time to be with your family. You can use that time to
have a dog.
You can have a dog, which is why I got a dog.
Hi, Bowie.
Hi, Bowie. We love you, Bowie. So I just think that's one of the advices that my parents gave me that I didn't listen to, that I wish another girl would have told me.
Same.
In love.
Same. Because I feel like even when you go into a relationship at a young age, because you're so, you're impressionable. So usually the guy that you're with, and I mean, I was with, usually sometimes they would be older than me, I started to notice that it was like my life revolved around him, and I would almost prioritize my life according to him, like as if he was the beacon and the end and the all, you know what I mean? And it was like, when I go back, there were priorities that just didn't have to be there at that time. There were other things that could have had my time, had my effort. Instead, the time and the effort were put into him in that relationship. So again, I am no regrets.
Yeah, no regrets.
No regrets at all. But if I had, to go back in time and just look at myself, I'd say, yeah, I think I'm going to wait for a relationship, because that can happen later on. Love is patient, and so are we. So should we be? So yeah.
Yeah. So we should try to be at least.
Try to be.
Yeah, that's true. So we've covered 3 topics. It's to find your goal, do a step-by-step process for you.
Still be flexible.
Still be flexible. Learn a lot of things about yourself by doing hobbies, traveling, doing adventures, being with the people that you love.
Definitely.
Staying single, not out of a bitter standpoint, but really out of love, so that you can allocate time with your friends, your family, the people who matter most, and to really just be alone with yourself, so that you can learn things about yourself, not according to the lens of your partner, but according to how you are as a person.
I think one more thing, and this is more just like a bonus, find yourself a mentor.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I feel that when you talk regularly to somebody who's maybe 5 years older than you, maybe even 10 years older than you, they've been where you are.
Yeah.
So they can kind of see from an outside point of view that, yeah, I get what you're going through right now. I get the struggle. I get what you're trying to achieve. And here are a few points, or just, somebody to soundboard off of. Obviously your parents are there, but it's always nice to get somebody who's maybe in the same line of work as you, the same industry, who you can look up to. And you could also just call at any time and be like, look, I don't know what to do about this. Can you help me make this decision?
That really helped me out when I had a D group in church. So like a D group is a small group in CCF that we have, and I've had my mentor, my D group leader, Bliss, for the past 3 years, and it changed the way that I had relationships with other women.
There you go.
Because I think for the longest time, I tried to either be the alpha female. Now, I don't want anybody else to lead me. I just want to lead other women. I'm just gonna do this on my own. I'll do whatever I want, and then I'll have people follow me. That's how I thought before, which I think is very arrogant, and it's one way to get yourself into trouble.
Hey, yeah.
Yes.
If you're living life according to Joyce or according to Julz, then you're going to get warped sometimes, because you're living life and things are coming at you. So sometimes you don't realize that you're actually just, life is happening to you. You're not actually living your life.
That's right.
And that's why it's nice to have somebody who's stability.
Yeah,
we all need stability.
You have someone to be accountable to.
Exactly.
Somebody can call you out when you're being difficult, when you're being arrogant, when you're doing something that's not healthy for you.
Yeah.
That I think sometimes you won't see when you're in that situation, but another person who cares for you will.
Yes.
And speaking of mentors, another thing that we can add to that, you can always find mentors in books. Mentors in books, in podcasts, in really learning new things about yourself, about the world around you, and how you can better serve God and how you can better serve the people around you through these books. I remember reading before, that's one of the most important things that you can do, find a mentor. But sometimes if you can't find a mentor, like for a certain topic, you can do that by reading books.
Yes.
And it's like, these authors can be your mentors, like Stephen Covey, C.S. Lewis, all of these great people aren't around anymore, and you can't ask them to mentor you, but they have written amazing, enormous amounts of books that you can study and meditate on. So.
Because usually in your 20s, you're kind of coming out of college and then you're going into a young professional career, or you're going for that thing that is determining your life or is determining the rest of your path. And the education doesn't stop. You know what I mean? Educating yourself doesn't stop in college. You don't stop reading. You don't stop influencing yourself with the positive influences that are given to you, like you said, through literature, through podcasts, through people who know what they're talking about. And so we always need a voice of reason, and I think you can get that through all of those different things. I think with us, it's really faith. So we tend to latch onto that, and because we latch onto that, we understand where our identity is rooted. Which is the last thing that I would say is just root your identity.
Yeah.
You have to have your identity rooted.
Because if not, you're just going to be pliable.
Yep.
Pliable for the rest of your 20s.
Flailing around. You know what I mean? With no direction.
So lastly, I think that should be your last point. Find out your priorities.
Yeah.
Set your priorities and stick with them. By having your priorities and like what Julz said, sticking to and finding out, being rooted in your identity, it's easier to say yes and no to things.
Yes.
And in your 20s, you'll realize that you'll have to say yes and no to a lot of things that can either change your life for the better or for the worse.
Start saving your money. There you go.
Yeah.
Wow, wisdom. Thank you.
Yeah.
There you go. Yes, that was the last thing. I'll shut up now.
Yes. Okay. Start saving your money. I agree. Want to expand?
I didn't do that, man. Literally, the first checks that I had, I was like, I'm going to get tattoos. I'm going to get 5 pairs of shoes. I'm going to go to Forever 21, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, little did I know that later on, I was like, man, the things that I actually need to pay for, like rent and food and just the simple basic stuff, sometimes, kapos ako, you know what I mean? But you learn. You live and you learn. And so I was just like, all right, every time that I get something, I have to put aside, of course, for your tithes, you have to put aside for your savings. You always have an emergency fund there.
You have a bank account that you don't touch.
Yes, yes!
Yes.
Two bank accounts.
2 bank accounts that you don't touch. One that you're gonna be saving, like pwede mong time deposit, and then another one like super kaduper, like hospital emergencies.
Right.
Ganong level. So just have 2 bank accounts that you don't touch. And so know your priorities. I think that's also part of know your priorities, right? Like finances, all of
Money
these things.
is an important thing in life, so.
Dude, and it won't always be raining.
Yeah.
So there is drought, and when drought comes, you want to be the ant that's saved up.
Yes. Oh my gosh, A Bug's Life!
You want
best
to be,
reference.
right?
Yes.
So are we in our 20s or are we 12? We're not quite sure, but we hope that you learned something from this. Was that okay?
That was good.
That was good.
I think that was good.
Don't forget to subscribe to Julz.
Yes, please.
She has a channel too.
Yes, I do.
She makes great music and advice videos too. 2 thumbs up for this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out Julz on Instagram.
At Julz Savard.
On YouTube.
Julz Savard. I am consistent with my branding. Julz Savard. I love you, Joyce.
I love you, Julz. We got it. Peace.